You're listening to the Happy Workaholic podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. This show was once about business, LinkedIn, and my life with an autoimmune disease. And then one day I found out I was misdiagnosed, so I had to switch things up a bit. Life is so short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. I'm on a mission to help women take their business and life to that next level they deserve to be at. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today, and I cannot wait to share these amazing stories of other female entrepreneurs who will be featured on the show. If you have a story or brand you want to share, send me a message on Facebook and Instagram today. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love to connect with you. Do you want a live chat during this episode? Make sure you're listening on iHeartRadio. I'm here to remind you to work hard, stay humble, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic podcast. And now let's get into today's show. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode for the I Chose This Life series. You guys, today I have one incredible female entrepreneur on the line with us. Her name is Noelle Johnson, and she is the owner of My Interview Buddy. And I'm so excited, you guys, to share her story with you, her business with you, what she's been working on, what's coming out, and just so much. Noelle and I have been friends online for I think almost 2 years now, and I just cannot wait to come to Nashville and give you the biggest hug ever. Noelle, are you here? Are you dying? You're here, finally.
I can't wait. It's going to be great.
I know. We're probably going to laugh, cry, and do everything all at once. So can you tell our listeners who you are and your amazing, amazing business, My Interview Buddy, and what it is all about?
Yeah, okay, so like Kellyanne said, I'm the owner of My Interview Buddy. It's an interview prep company, and I help people get prepared for major interviews. So it's not just me, it's an online digital platform so that people can go in. If they have a big interview that's coming up, they can do a mock interview. So all the questions are recorded, and then they can get a response back from a career expert or a hiring manager who's actually done lots of interviews that can give you feedback on how you did on your interviews. And we also do resume reviews and cover letter reviews, and we're just starting to get ready to do some LinkedIn updates as well on our as one of our services. So whatever it is in your career, you're looking to get to that next level, we have the tools that you need to get there.
I love all of this, and I'm so excited to share more with our listeners today who are not familiar with My Interview Buddy. Now, what is your background, the last couple of jobs you've had, and what really made you want to create a platform like this for others? Were you thinking that it was missing in the online space? Were you hearing feedback from other people where they're just they didn't have these resources and you wanted to put it together? Or how did this all come about?
Yeah, so it all really came together. I have about a little over 12 years of experience working in operations, and I've normally worked at pretty small offices, and I just kind of had a knack for interviewing. So even if I wasn't going to be somebody that people were reporting to, my managers would have me go in to conduct interviews. And for one job in particular, I was interviewing for, this was actually to replace my role because I was in DC and I was looking to move to Nashville. And when I was interviewing this woman for my role, I was being a little bit pickier than I normally am. And I was getting really frustrated because everyone that I was interviewing really struggled with just landing it well. I could tell from their resume that they had a good background, but I would meet them in person. I'm like, is this somebody that I want, my favorite boss to have? Do I want to replace this person with me if they're not able to step up? Their interview skills weren't where they needed to be. So I had one interview in particular where the woman was just really shy, and she was whispering the entire interview, and all of her answers were really flat. But I can tell from like her recommendations and all these great things that her employers had to say about her, that she was excellent. And I said, why does interviews need to be so painful? So like me on one side of the table conducting the interview, it wasn't as good as I thought. The whole process wasn't as great as I thought it could be. And then on the other side, like I felt for her because I've been in her situation, and I've been in all these different candidates' position of just not feeling like I know the right answers. And, it just feels so painful to do an interview, and it doesn't need to be that way. And I just thought, what could we do to make interviewing just a more, just a better process, and something that people look forward to an interview, because they get to talk about their passion and what they really love to do, and they get to ask questions about this business that they're interested in working for. And the person on the other side gets to know the other person. Like, this should be something that's really exciting and fun to do, but instead it's not. So I wanted to create something that allowed that to happen. And as soon as I started to talk to people and do some market research, I was finding that mid-level employees especially, they really struggle with the interview process, and they were saying, oh my gosh, like, why were you not around when I needed you, when I was, at this level of my career, like, or was about to get into this new job, and I had all these interviews, like, where were you? So I'm so happy to be here, because it's definitely a service that I wish that I had. So I'm so excited to be able to, have it for other people to use.
I love all of that. And I think one of the most important things to do is, doing your research. And then when you see that something is missing in an online space or marketplace, and you've gone through that experience yourself, it just makes you more, like, so much more passionate and able to, and allow yourself more time to create these necessities that are really needed.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I completely agree.
Now, what has been your biggest obstacle so far in this journey of My Interview Buddy, would you say, being an entrepreneur?
So my biggest challenge has definitely been this transition. So I was doing My Interview Buddy on the side for a little bit more than a year, and then my full-time job and I parted ways. And so I found myself in this position of like, okay, do I start to look for another job, or do I put everything into My Interview Buddy? And I decided that, this is what my passion is, and this is what I love to do, so I need to do it. But with that, it's like a completely different framework. Like I said before, I worked in operations for a long time, so I'm really good at the behind the scenes thing. But now, because I've always been behind the scenes, getting in front of everyone has been something that hasn't been natural to me. So I'm still learning. And I'm always somebody that loves to give. So, putting, selling has always been something that I'm definitely starting to learn more and more about. So it's been an interesting challenge. It's a challenge I'm really glad that I have, because I think that it's important that everyone gets to learn something about selling at some point in their career, because it doesn't really matter what you're doing. Everyone's selling something, right? So I think that even if no matter what you're doing in your career, like, you just need to spend some time with salespeople, take them out to lunch, pick their brain or whatever, because like there is some element of selling that you're using, and it's something I wish I knew years ago, because it would be really helpful right now. But I think that it's something that's really important as we in our careers, no matter what we do.
I absolutely agree. And I love that, we're always on this, owning a business online myself, just like always getting thrown a curveball. And your first reaction is, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, I'm so stressed out. And then you're like, wait, this is amazing. Like, I just learned so much from this experience, like just about yourself, and then bringing it into your business. And I just love that we can always have that opportunity to learn something in a different technique, a different way. And meeting people in real life is obviously number one, but I just love that aspect. We're so lucky to be able to, be able to bring more of ourselves to our businesses online that way.
It's amazing. It's amazing how much, when you think about, our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, and like the limited access to information that they have, that we now have. It's incredible that we can just learn something and get really good at it. Like, there's somebody who's done what you're doing and you can just learn, and that's amazing. And anytime that you can learn a new skill set is incredible. So I'm so grateful that there's so much that I need to learn. It gets overwhelming when you're like, I'm not getting it right away, but it's really incredible when you can just find the information that you need, ask people online all over the world at any time of the day. You get, you're Kelly and Gorman on the line, and why does this not work the way I think it works? And it's amazing that I can just do that. So I'm grateful that I'm in this kind of a position. It definitely is stressful, but it's more of a blessing than it is anything else.
Yeah, I agree. And it's so crazy because, like we have crazy lives and crazy work schedules and, we're just doing like the daily grind. And then all of a sudden something makes you stop and sit back and you're like, I work on the internet. Like, if it wasn't for the freaking internet, like I would not have what I'm doing right now. Like, how amazing is this?
It really is. And I think that changing that framework in our minds, like, oh my gosh, I have to learn how to do SEO. I have to learn Pinterest. I have to do that. Like, do you get that it is like we get this amazing opportunity to do these really cool things and be on the cutting edge of technology. And, I always see myself as this great technology company. Like, that's something I like to hang my hat on. But in a way, all these digital marketers and coaches and all these people that are doing their jobs online, like, we're all kind of working in tech, and that's a really cool place to be.
I agree. And never in my life did I ever think I would be producing podcasts for a living. I know, like I was painting faces around the world and now I'm living online, and like I would not have it any other way. Like, I've met you, I've met like our whole little tribe of online entrepreneurs we're friends with. Like, if it wasn't for the freaking internet and Facebook and everything, like our lives would not be where they are because we're all involved in each other's lives. We're all friends online, and then we're all going to, of course, meet in person one day. But it's just like incredible, like these opportunities we have. And I know for sure I take that for granted because it's just like what I live every day. But now lately I'm just realizing, like, if I'm not on the internet, like, it's just such a different world. Like, it's so crazy.
It really is. It really is.
Now, when you work, what's your schedule like? Do you like to time block? Like, what's your personal routine like for your schedule?
Yeah, so my routine right now, it's kind of great for me, but it may not be for everybody. I do tend to work every day. I like to spend some days working on my client stuff, where I'm working, since right now I do have somebody that helps with social media content. So that piece is done, but I have to do some social media work on my part. I need to spend a day working on my clients' work. I need to spend a day looking at prospects, because I also work with recruiters and other companies and get ready for workshops and all kinds of stuff for companies. So I try to separate things by whatever I'm doing. And on the weekends, Saturdays are really just for family. So I'll check the email at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, sometimes at lunch. And then on Sundays, when my son goes down for a nap, I'm working for a few hours. So I try to, I really have what's a better way of saying it? I don't want to not work. Like, I like working every day. Like, that's for me. I feel like when you aren't checking in, like this whole idea of like having like a 2-day work week or whatever, I think is a novel idea. But I think that when you're not in touch with what's going on with your business on a daily basis, you're missing something. Like, I want my clients to know that I'm here for them. And even if they know that I'm going to get to them in like a few hours, I think that's great. If I get to somebody back in 2 or 3 days, it's not really the best service. So I want to at least be checking in a little bit, not micromanaging things, but just being on top of my stuff. Kind of a long-winded answer, but if that answers it.
No, I love it. And I mean, I love asking that question because everybody's answer is just so different. And my schedule, I switch it up. Like, I feel like, well, the last month especially, it's been very different. But sometimes I go through phases, like I want a time block, or I want to, today, like before we started recording, like my whole plan was like to iron my hair, be in full hair and makeup and do all these Facebook lives, but it just ended up turning out into one of those days where I'm recording so many shows and producing, like I'm just in my flow. So like things can get pushed, but like you, I need to check in like all the time. Like I would die if I was MIA. I've tried to take my little social media hiatus. I probably had a panic attack 5 times. Like
It's not fun for me. I don't really get any joy of turning everything off. I think that, I'll have like a few hours. Like obviously if it's like me and my son, like, and I just want to go to the park and play, I'm not really worried about being on social media.
Yeah.
But it's not fun for me to just be completely unplugged. Like I have no desire to be out on the mountain in the middle of nowhere with no reception.
Me either.
Like that would drive me crazy. For a day, it'd be nice. For more than a day, I think I'd be ready to run for the hills. So, yeah, that's not for me.
I think you and I are so similar when we always want to, be on our toes and do our research, and we allow ourselves those times to, like you said, learn and research and like be the best that we can. Like we need to give ourselves that time. Like I try to do that on the weekend, or listen to other podcasts that I used to listen to all the time that like I just haven't had any time for. Like catch up on things. Like I learned so much from just listening to other shows, and I get more inspired, and I love, working 7 days a week. I'm a happy workaholic. I mean, I can't really help it.
Absolutely. There's no, we shouldn't have to apologize for that. I think as long as it's bringing you joy, it's right.
It's definitely sparking joy over here. Now, when do you think that you had your I chose this life moment? Like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Was it your first course sold? Was it getting in touch with a brand new client, landing a deal? Like, when was that moment where you literally were like, this is why I'm doing my business?
Well, I think that for my business, when it really clicked for me was when I did when I had my first in-person client. So and I think this is the way that a lot of people start off, where like they just do something for free. So I did my first 2 clients for free, and I met somebody that I didn't know. I like met her off of some Facebook group, and I was like, "Would you go to coffee with me? And I'll just give you some career advice, and we'll get you ready for your next interview." And she said, "Sure." So I met her, and I got her ready. And as she was talking, I realized that she did not want that job that she was about to have an interview for. Like she hated this job. As she was talking about it, I was like, this is not what you want at all. And then instead of like continuing to coach her for that job, I just like stopped the whole interview process, and I said, let's just talk about this because this is not what you want. And she decided to not go for that job. She went for something that she was really well qualified for, but she didn't think that she was until we talked. And then she got a way better job, making way more money. And it was so exciting to me. So when she sent me an email, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. Like I felt like I was on the right path. But when I got the email from her that, all these things were happening for her, and I was just like, oh my, I was so excited. It was like a win for me, even though it was a win for her.
I love that. I don't think I remember that story. That's amazing. And, you're just like passionate and obsessed with like, providing this amazing service and doing what you love that you forget. And then when it comes back, like XYZ happens, and it's like a huge, like, congratulatory moment. You're like, wow, like, I'm amazing. Noelle, you are amazing.
Thank you. You're amazing too. But it really does make a difference. And I think that with this position in particular, right now, I think about maybe like 80 to 83% of my clients have gotten the jobs that they wanted when they went on the interview. But 100% of my clients have gone on to a position that they really love. So it's not always, they talk to me and that exact interview that they went on was the winning interview, but they always go on to something that's more fulfilling, and that is my reward. Like that's the win, because I know that they're doing something and being someplace that values what they do, and they have a better insight to themselves. And interviewing is something that you're going to need even when you're not going on an interview. Like, you're negotiating all the time.
Absolutely.
You're having meetings with people all the time. You get on podcast interviews. Like, knowing how to interview well is so important. So to be able to give an element of that to somebody in their career is like so huge to me. I just take I'm so grateful for all the clients that come my way.
Oh my God, I love all of that. Now, what do you think, what advice do you think that you should have been given or you wish that somebody had given you before you started your business full time?
Before I started my business full time, I think that it was like understanding patience, because people always say, it takes time or whatever, and you hear it, but I wasn't really getting it. So I'm not even sure if I would take the advice if I were getting it again. But I think like really understanding that things don't happen overnight, and to really take the time to appreciate all the small wins, so like getting your engagement up like 20 more people that week is a win. Like, it may not be 1,000 people, and that's what your goal was set up, but like to celebrate those 20 people, those are 20 individual people that took the time to like your stuff or to comment or whatever your goals are. Those little tiny moments still matter, and I find that whenever I do celebrate those moments, things are a lot easier for me, and I can totally change my mindset on how things are going. So I think focusing on the wins and understanding how to be more patient is something that I wish I would have gotten sooner.
That's a good answer. Patience, I agree with exactly what you said. I have zero patience and always have had zero patience. And now I actually have some. And it's taken years to just realize, like, you see everybody on Instagram posting an overnight success. It's 10 years of putting in the work. It's 10 years of doing everything in between.
Nothing is really overnight. But I think that there's, we're in an instant gratification kind of society, and whenever we do have a quick win, it's just like that endorphin rush, and like everything is going to go great. But if you don't even handle it when you get these little small wins, then why would you continue to get bigger wins? Like, you have to be able to be grateful for the small ones. So I always struggle with that, because I'm like, am I really? I don't really like. I want, but it's about just appreciating and being grateful. And I think that's something that I think that's something that we're all learning. It's easy to fall away from it, but once you can get back in touch with that, I think it's so helpful.
Absolutely, I agree. What advice would you give someone wanting to get into the type of career that you are in, type of business that you're in?
To really spend time on your branding, I think is really important. Not just on your company's brand, but on your personal brand. I think that it's completely worth investing in finding somebody that's going to do a killer website for you, do a great logo for you. One of the first things I did was hire our mutual friend, Pete. Before I even had a real cohesive business idea, I hired Peyton to work with me on my style brand. And just from talking to her and getting her feedback, I was able to shift things in my business that I wasn't even thinking about, because I wasn't really looking at things from the outside in. So I think that spending the time on that, I think, is really important. So you need to be able to invest. If you are not able to invest in your company and yourself right away, today's not the time. I know it doesn't cost a lot of money to start a website and all that, but to like really make it great right away. And if you can't, do some little things on the side, but don't launch until you can make it great. I don't believe in doing anything halfway. I think that you can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but do something that is up to your standards so that people can see what to expect when they work with you. Don't water things down because you're being cheap. So that may sound harsh, but I think that you're worth the investment, and your business is always worth the investment.
Absolutely. And I think that as both of us work online and run our businesses online, we've seen that just from everybody in Facebook groups, and like there's always like that one person that's like putting something out, or it's just like, why don't you just wait one more week? Like it would have been amazing.
Just wait a minute. Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely have done things that are kind of like half-cocked because I was just not thinking through everything, and I think that also investing in a good coach. I mean, you were somebody that I worked with that was worth every penny, and it's like finding those right people and not just the cheapest people.
Mm-hmm.
We know somebody through our groups that didn't. All of her products are crazy cheap, and it turns out that person was a scam artist. Yep. And it was like, oh my gosh,
how?
But when people are paying $20 for a coaching session, and it's like, okay, you get what you pay for, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth investing in somebody who really values what you're doing. I mean, I keep going back to that same idea, but just to find the quality people and the quality products for yourself is one of the best things that you can do for your business.
I agree. And speaking of quality, you have had some amazing features in some amazing online platforms. Can you please share with us where you have been featured as of today? List them out.
Today, I've been featured in Forbes, Glassdoor, NPR, Fast Company, Medium, Monster Jobs, and a few other places too. And I've done a few podcasts.
Okay, you guys listening, I just want you to know that getting featured is not an easy thing. It takes so much content and structure and time, and our time is worth money. And Noelle, you are so incredible. Like, my interview buddy is blowing up, and just getting all of this media and press, like the world is going to soon, they're just going to like see my interview buddy everywhere.
I think so. Thank you for saying that. But it really, people resonate with the idea because we've all been there. We've all had bad interviews. Like you can get to know somebody really well by asking them, like, tell me about a bad interview that you went on, and everybody has a story. So whatever we can do to make that better, I'm on board. So being able to share that with all these different outlets has been really great for me. But I think that people just really resonate with like the, oh my gosh, something just for interviewing. Oh my gosh.
And it's something that, like, you're so passionate about, and that you can really read a person when you're watching their Instagram Live or Facebook Live or YouTube channel, and you can really resonate with a person and really, learn to trust them and keep watching their videos and appreciate like the passion they have towards their business, and then turn it around and be like, wait, I need that. Like, this is a service. You provide a service that no one else has. And that's something that's, you can't compare this to anything else because you've created it. And I think that's so important, especially with running a business online where, you see a lot of the same things and you don't see anything close to what my interview buddy has. And I think that's why you have such an amazing audience and a lot of people that really resonate with either you and the brand and all the work that you've put in it, which is why they're, going towards programs like My Virtual Buddy and all of those things.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's really been an incredible journey, and I appreciate you saying that and seeing that it's starting to not only be something that people are talking about in the United States, but to see like a huge jump in traffic in India and in Wales and on all these countries, and then trying to learn all these skills, all the interview types that are everything that's going on in these different countries, like how do I interview for an engineering company in India, and doing the research for it and being able to give like real feedback to people that are in other countries has been so powerful because it's just amazing. So I'm just so grateful to be here.
And that's just another reason why we have to work 7 days a week because you've brought in your audience. You have a global audience now. You're in the UK, you're in India, and that's even more research and more hours that you need to dedicate to your business, to researching, so that you can provide the best service for others in a different country. Like, that's a whole nother beast. And I don't think people realize like how much time and effort, like, you really have to, sacrifice so much and put in the work and do all this research. And by doing that, it makes your brand the best. But I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't really talk about. Like, I'm staring at my vision board and it says put in the work. And if you don't put in the work, it's not going to happen. And
absolutely,
you've put in the work like 250%. So like, I'm just so, so proud of you. And that you're just everywhere now. And I cannot wait to see like more to come from my interview buddy. But I want to know, when you have these wins and you set this goal for yourself and you accomplish it, and like, what are some of the things that you do to celebrate? Do you have more self-care? Do you just meditate, relax? Like, what are some of the things that you do when you know you have to be off, or you want to allow yourself to celebrate?
So if it's like a really good quick win, like I launched my virtual buddy, which is our mock interview system, and when I got my first client that came in through there, that wasn't somebody I know, it wasn't a referral, it's just somebody who found me online. I like did a dance around my house. So like, I'm a big dancer. I'm somebody who's in the grocery aisles when the song comes. Like, I don't care if it's in public and I embarrass my friends. So I love to dance when I'm excited. I love a nice bath with a bath bomb. And I do like to be able to give myself like a little treat when it's been a really good win. So I'm a big cookie person. You and I talk about cookies all the time.
I know. We love our cookies.
That's something that like me and my son will do. So like, I'll pick him up from daycare and he'll say, "Oh, okay, mommy, cookies and juice." And if it's been a good day, I'm like, "All right, cookies and juice." So like, we'll go to the little, Panera Bread or whatever, and they'll grab ourselves a cookie and I'll get them some juice, and like, we're just living our best life. So I love that.
I know, and I think I sent you a picture of mine the other day when I had to start my steroids again, and I'm like, oh my God, steroid craving, and I sent you a picture of my sugar cookie, and it was like the best thing in life.
I love it. I mean, as long as it's just a little bit, right? It's all in balance. But I think that there's just like this amazing sweetness to life. Mm-hmm. So just to be able to partake in that with friends and family, I think means everything. So just, I think being able to share it is almost as good as doing stuff for myself.
Exactly. I believe that too. Now, what do you have coming up? What's in the works for my interview buddy, and where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things right now that I'm sharing the news about is my virtual buddy, which is my interview buddy's mock interview program. I'm so excited about this because, as I've always seen my company as a tech company, I think this really solidifies it. So there are 10 questions that come up. You have a chance to answer them on your computer or on an app on your phone. And you can, all the questions are based on like situational behavioral questions, and you can just ask, or answer the questions of tell me about yourself, and you freak out. So like, you can re-record it over and over and over again, and then a career expert can give you feedback on how you did. So I'm so excited to put that out there. And you can find me on myinterviewbuddy.com. I'm really on social on anything My Interview Buddy, so Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm actually on LinkedIn. You can find me at Noelle C. Johnson. But I'm posting all the time. I'm on all the social, and I'm just really excited to be able to talk to you guys.
And for all of you listening, I'm actually going to post all of Noelle's links in the show notes so you can give her a follow and see what's up and coming with my interview buddy, as well as things that Noelle has going on. And also, I want to add the link for the personality quiz. Is that still happening?
Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. So I have this really great, it's super fun. It's the career, what's your career superpower quiz.
Yes.
So you go on there and it'll tell you a little bit about yourself, what kind of work environment's best for you, what's your management style, what kind of managers do you work best under, and some career options for you that works best for that personality type. So it's super fun and fast.
You guys are going to love this quiz. I did it right when it came out. I sat down with my best friend and we were laptop to laptop and we did it together and she was trying to get all my answers and I'm like, no, you have to do your own. I know we're the same person, but like, no, stick to your own work. And we did it. We were two totally different people. I was for sure creative. I knew that was coming. But I just like it, like solidifies like who you are, like just a fun test. But like at the end, like you get the best answers and you guys have to take this quiz. It's so amazing. And I will put that in the show notes as well. And then make sure you screenshot your answers for us and tag Noelle, my interview buddy. So I'll have all that listed for the show notes. And what else do you want to add, Noelle?
I think I would add for your audience, I know we talked about research so much, but I would say research is always worth your time. I'm the daughter of a wonderful researcher. She's amazing. And when you really spend your time to do a little bit of the digging, it always pays back in spades. And all the research that you need is out there. You are worth the time. You are worth the investment in yourself. Do your homework. It always pays for itself. So I just wanted to share that piece and just thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and consideration, and I know your audience is great. I love the podcast, so thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it was all my pleasure. I've been wanting to do this for months, and here we are today. Finally, check off our list. You guys, make sure you check out the show notes. All the links will be there, and be sure to give Noelle a follow and say hello and let her know what you thought about all of her amazing tips and tricks she shared with you today, and we will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. And if you have 2 minutes and listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, I would love it if you could leave me a review. Those messages mean so much to us podcasters, and they really help me create more of the content that you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? It's simple. Head to Facebook and search for the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Answer the questions, and you're in. For more information on myself, coaching programs, weekly newsletter, and more, visit thehappyworkaholic.com. The Happy Workaholic Podcast is part of the iHeartRadio Podcast Network. Be sure to follow the Happy Workaholic Podcast on iHeartRadio or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.